Hello?
Hey, Peeps, it's Mathas.
Who?
Yeah, no, never mind that. Listen, I'm calling because Warcraft Lord of the Clans was recently leaked online, and I noticed that animation magic was involved in the development. I swear you played a few games by them. Have you heard about it? Hello? Hello? By now, Blizzard is known for its quality. World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Overwatch, Hearthstone. You can't throw a rock without hitting a hugely successful Blizzard game anymore. Nearly everything they touch turns to gold, or at the very least, a very pretty looking silver. What I respect even more about the company is their complete willingness to completely cancel a project if it doesn't meet their standards. We saw it happen with StarCraft Ghost, and most recently the mysterious Project Titan, that may or may not have eventually turned into Overwatch. And while these games all have their own interesting story behind them, the one game I always saw come up again and again is the cancelled Warcraft adventure game called Lord of the Clans. A point-and-click adventure game that told the origin stories of Thrall. It told the story of Thrall. Not Green Jesus. Yes, that Thrall. The orc who would become war chief to the Horde, the shaman to wield the Doom Hammer, and one who would constantly be working toward world peace. And this game was to show us his humble beginnings and his first steps towards his great destiny. Unfortunately, we never got to see this game. It was slated for a 1998 release date and had been reported as essentially completely finished, but at the last moment, Blizzard had deemed the game not up to their standards and canned the whole thing. Financial investments be damned. You know, you gotta admire a company that'll do that. Not often you'll see a company just completely cancel a project anymore, but instead shove it out the door regardless of whether it's ready or not to turn a quick buck before it's completely destroyed by the public and critics for not living up to expectations and under-delivering on its promises. Not that I'm talking about anything in particular. Yep, they sure don't make them like they used to. Regardless, Blizzard would leave us wondering just what this game would have been like should it have been released, and we'd never know what the game would have been like to play. Until now. A couple weeks back, a near-complete version of the game was leaked online and people scrambled to download it before it was taken offline. And I was lucky enough to check the game out myself. So let's see what the fuss is all about. We open with seeing Thrall in jail. After spending his life being raised by humans and never seeing another orc in his life, he was tossed into an arena to fight a troll in a test of loyalty to the humans. After defeating the troll, Thrall refused to kill him, defying his human masters, thus sending him into prison to await execution. After a few simple puzzles, you were able to knock out the dwarven guard protecting you and slip out of your cell to attempt a good and proper prison escape. Well. That's a promising start. A bit dark and serious with a little comedy thrown in. All very Blizzard-like so far. An impressive opening few minutes. I wonder when it'll start to get bad. Oh, okay. Fart joke. Solid. Ah, yes, the classic draw an evil mustache on your enemy's portrait gag. Another real knee slapper you got there. Well, at least we started strong. The first 10 minutes or so were really compelling. Solid start. It was fun. Thanks for the attempt, though, game. Appreciate the effort. Was nice. See you around. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Yes, hello? Damn it! Fine. All right. So they were just a couple of immature jokes. Maybe I overreacted. Let's just continue, shall we? Alright, so Thrall needs to escape, and the best idea he can come up with is to disguise himself as the farting chaplain. So we grab the key from his neck and begin to raid his room for clothing.
Whoa, he's got big hands.
You know what they say about big hands, don't you, Thrall? Am I right? They wear big gloves. How could you be so gross? Whoa! Wait, whoa! Christ! God damn! You see the way she's holding that sword? Girl's gonna cut herself. Good lord. All right, all dressed up and time to go. As we attempt to leave, the guards let us know that we aren't allowed past that particular checkpoint. So, in an incredibly inconspicuous fashion, we take a rock in a sock and hurl it out a window to smash it and distract the guards. They totally didn't see us do that and totally don't expect us, and so they head inside to go check out what happened. So we walk right out the front door, right? Right, Thrall? Thrall? Okay. That works. That also works. There's a front door, but you know what? It's fine, man. Don't worry about it. There's a front door, but I get it. Catapult also works. This is the orc that would be wielding Doomhammer and become Horde War Chief. Genius. Absolute brilliant writing. I was, god damn it. I don't know why I never thought of it myself. It's goddamn perfect. I can't believe I never thought of that. Well, Thrall, now finally free of capture, is on an adventure to find Grom Hellscream because he looks like him. Good enough reason, I say. You've been raised by humans your whole life and have never seen an orc. Might as well hunt down a well-known one. And what follows is a pretty by-the-books point-and-click adventure game. You'll solve puzzles by combining items, meet loads of characters in the Warcraft universe that would become much more well-known in the years following, and listen to terrible joke after terrible joke in your quest to find others like you, and eventually fulfill your grand destiny, because of course. For a game that was marketed as a dark comedy, it seemed so sorely lacking the dark part. Sure, we get a few scenes with blood here and there, but this was the next Warcraft game. Blood and violence is attached to it almost by default. We'll get to follow Thrall as he meets Gazlowe and helps him fix his Zeppelin and steal some plans from nearby gnomes for him because fuck gnomes, that's why.
It's taking all my willpower not to choke the chicken.
Oh, yeah. I take it back. I mean, I take every mean thing I ever said about the gnomes back. A masturbation joke. And because of this gnome scene, we get a choke the chicken joke. Genius! Jerking it! Get it? Jerking my wanger! Choke the chicken! Being off! Grabbing my rock hard dick! Blacked out. Warcraft Adventures, right. Thrall continues to traipse around the world until he finally finds himself inside of an orc reservation. Spelled O-R-K and not O-R-C. And I don't know, that really bothered me for some reason. Apparently, after the first Warcraft game, a big chunk of orcs decided to give up on life and trying in general and just sit around and drink all damn day. Not only that, but their alcohol is rationed to them, so I can't imagine they get much, but apparently they're all lightweights anyway and get absolutely trashed. I feel like this is supposed to be a more meaningful metaphor for the horrors of war, but the dialogue and silly drinking sounds and constant burping really detracts from the serious overtones I think the game is trying to put across.
He is.
While here, we'll also meet Zul'jin, a troll running a shop in a rundown orc reservation where they are rationed food and alcohol, so clearly they have a ton of spending money. We'll encounter a garden gnome joke and generally learn very little of value.
I've had enough of gnomes lately.
The whole orc reservation scene makes very little sense to me. From the troll having a shop in the middle of East Bumfuck Nowhere attempting to sell things to what I can only assume are orc customers with no money. Humans and orcs clearly still very much at odds and violent toward one another, but these orcs not caring at all and drinking their days away, leaving them as prime targets for the humans to wipe out. And who is rationing out what? And why is alcohol being rationed out at all and not water? Look, maybe I'm looking too deep into this whole scene in general, but it just didn't sit well with me. It just has a logical disconnect that I couldn't swallow or make sense of. And yes, while we learn very little of value and there's clear padding in the game, padding in games isn't anything new. We see it constantly, even in today's games, arguably even more so now. But Warcraft Adventures is short, like 3 hours long if you get really confused on any of the puzzles, which you won't. So to have so much pointless stuff going on really starts to stick out after a while. And while adventure games are also not new to padding either, most good ones do it with flair and constant characters to meet, great humor and scene interaction, and excellent writing to back it up. Warcraft, however, doesn't.
I'm a failure.
Its writing falls almost entirely flat, the jokes are almost always immature and lowbrow, and rarely drew a grin from me at all, and the puzzles are beyond simple, some of which are rehashes of puzzles we've seen in countless other adventure games. The humor in the game absolutely screams Legend of Zelda CDI, lowbrow and boring. But mechanically, the game isn't god-awful. At best, this game is mediocre, at worst, it's snooze-inducing. While I can definitely see why Blizzard decided to cancel and shut down this Warcraft adventure game, it wasn't quite the absolute train wreck years of rumors and mystery had led me to believe. It's not terrible, it's just kinda bad. And we would get the story of Thrall in a book by the same name a few years later. Oh, and towards the end, you get to see Deathwing smoking out of a hookah. You know, I gotta admit, I'm kind of disappointed. For all the secrecy and mystery behind the game, I expected a train wreck. Instead, we got a game that was bad, but it wasn't a heaping pile of garbage. It by no means compares to any of the adventure games that we grew up with, specifically the LucasArts stuff, but it also wasn't one of the worst games I've ever played. It's just bad. And that's why I, the Honorable Judge Mathas, judge this game as innocent. Blizzard never released this game. Blizzard didn't want people to get their hands on this game. And as bad as it may be, officially, the game never came out. So can you truly judge something guilty that never existed in the first place? Games get canceled all the time, sometimes even after years of press has been piled onto it, hyping us all up for the game's eventual release, only to leave us with bitter disappointment and anger in the end. So my question to you guys this episode is, what game got a ton of hype that ended up getting canceled that you wish was eventually released or leaked online like the Warcraft adventure game was? I have a huge list, and one recent one is the EverQuest Next MMO. Honestly, the whole situation with Sony Online Entertainment, which is now Daybreak Games, has me really intrigued, and I'm very curious what happened behind the scenes. But we'll probably never know. I'm eager to read your answers down below and see what you guys say after this episode. Thank you everybody so much for watching this episode of Judge Mathas. I hope you enjoyed, and big thank you to my friend Peanut Butter Gamer for reliving some of the past trauma that is Zelda CDI. I'm sorry I put you through that again, buddy. If you haven't, go check out PBG over at his channel. Link will be somewhere on this end slate. If you want to watch more Judge Mathas, you can click on this link right here to go check out the last episode I did on Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, a game I never got to play growing up. And if you want more of me every single day, head on over to youtube.com/MathasGames for daily gaming videos. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you next time.